Total Package Speed Strength and Conditioning. Here we have another speed capacity workout. We're starting to get into a little bit more complex movements as far as jumping is concerned or landing. We're going to learn how to do a little bit of that today. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for following along. We really appreciate that. I'm going to explain the exercises as I always do. Then we're actually going to do the workout together. If you'd like to follow along, by all means follow along with me. If I'm going a little too quick, just hit pause, understand the movement, do all that kind of stuff to make you feel comfortable at home. But if you can keep up and you want to keep up, by all means, please do this workout with me, okay? So again, we're starting to progress a little bit, so enjoy these exercises. If something's a little too difficult, don't hesitate to get in contact with us. We can come up with different exercises for you, different variations as we move along, okay? So I would suggest that everybody warms up first. We do have a warm-up video. Follow along with that and get your blood moving a little bit. I've already done that, so we're actually going to jump right into the workout. So please understand, if you need to pause, please pause. Have your water ready. Go at your own pace. Work within your own capacity. If you want to continue with me, please do. So the first exercise that we have for today, we're going to be doing 3 sets. The first exercise, we're doing a single leg RDL, which is as simple as this. We're going to start with a high knee. Remember all the proper arm mechanics, toes dorsiflex, high knee position, at close to a 90. We're not tucking our foot right under here. We're just using our hips, driving our knee up. We're going to have our hands down here, and all we're going to do is go down into an RDL position, and then straight back up. Notice that I'm hinging. Should be feeling this in my hamstring and my grounded leg. And I'm trying to connect those lines from heel all the way up to hand. So I'm trying to create as much distance as possible. You should feel your hamstrings load during this. The next exercise that we have is a progression from the A skip. So in previous videos, you've noticed that an A skip is just one of these. Now we're actually doing a triple A skip. So you're going to be doing 3 little hops on that grounded leg. So instead of going up and down, you're going to be going 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. Okay? That's going to be really challenging to keep your knee up in that position the whole time. We don't want to see it fall with each step. You're trying to squeeze and keep that knee up the whole time. The last one, we have single leg hops. It's a very simple drill. If you have little wickets, like this, by all means, you can use that. I'm just going to do it without any wickets, without any pylons. All we're going to do is load up. We're just doing a little hop forward, stabilizing, little hop forward, and stabilizing, okay? Trying to teach our body a little bit on how to brace for that impact, stay stable, and then prepare to move forward. So, 3 sets of that. We have 6 per side on the single leg RDL. We're going to do the triple A skip from cone to cone and back, which is roughly about 20 meters. And then the last one, single leg hops, we're going to do 6 per side. Alright? So, if you need a break, take a break. If you need to rewind, go over those exercises again. By all means, pause me and rewind. If not, and you're ready to go, we don't need any equipment for this first 3 sets. So we can get right after it, all right? I'll do the exercises facing you, and then I'll do the exercises sideways so you can see a couple different angles. But, let's do it. 6 per side, single leg, RDL. Notice I'm going at a nice controlled pace. Squeezing my glute at the back. Stay nice and stable. Try not to cave my grounded leg knee in. Not going into too much extension at all or flexion. Just trying to achieve straight lines within the capacity of my own workload. Great. Now we have the triple A skips. Remember, 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. Squeeze that knee up. Awesome. All right, now the single leg hops, 6 per side. Remember, don't hop again until you feel comfortable and stable. And this is not a max vertical hop, just little hops off the ground, enough where you're teaching your body to brace for that landing. Perfect. All right. That's 1 set down. 2 to go. If you need a break, pause me. If not, you're going to get right back into it. Perfect. Triple A skips. Get ready to go. We're trying to limit the amount of side to side. Trying to keep our hips square, core tight, proper arm mechanics the whole time during that exercise. Okay, single leg hops. You'll notice how I'm trying to land and load into my hip. I'm not over my body. I'm not spilling. I'm trying to land and sink right back into your glutes, your hips. Really try to brace that landing and not get out of control. All right, second set. Now we're on to 3. Last one, and then we're moving on. Really get that length between your hands and your feet in a nice straight line. Triple A skips. Awesome. Last one. Single leg hops again. Perfect, okay. Time for a quick break. Pause me, have a little drink, scan your body, see how it's feeling. Come on back, we're on to our B set. Here we go. This is our B set. You'll notice that I got a piece of equipment. We got a bench here. We just need some sort of elevation. All we're going to be doing on it, standing on it, and this certainly doesn't need to be this high. You can have it just a couple inches off the ground. That's perfectly fine. But all we're going to do is walk off and then actually land on one foot. So whatever you feel comfortable using for your elevation, please do. Could be a side of the couch. If you got a bench, that's great. Chair, a little bit of anything. You can literally use anything for this. You can get on your dad's tailgate or mom's tailgate and jump off that for all I know. You just need a piece of elevation for this, okay? So that is the only piece of equipment you need for this B set. Everything else, we're good to go with just body weight. So what we're gonna do for our first exercise is using that piece of elevation. I'm gonna stand up. I'm actually going to initiate the walk off with the opposite foot that I'm going to land on. So for instance, I'm going to walk off the bench with my right, but I'm actually going to land on my left, okay? So staying nice and tall, bracing for impact, core is tight. I'm not going to stop like with concrete in my feet. I'm actually going to help brace that landing, bend my knee a little bit, load up into my hip, and really start to feel comfortable with the idea of landing in order to either move in a change of direction or accelerate forward or back, okay? This is really important. Seems rudimentary, but it is not. This is an excellent skill that needs to be taught and needs to be learned through practice, okay? So all we're gonna do is walk off. I'm actually gonna land, stick, load into my hip, and just hold it for a brief second. You need to feel comfortable being stable. We don't need to jump off this and hit and be like, oh yeah, I did it. That's not teaching your body anything. You actually need to hit, accelerate, load in that hip, feel stable, and then that's a good rep, okay? So we're gonna do 3 per side on that. We can load all one leg and then all the other leg, okay? So start with your right or left, do them all, go to your right or left, whatever one you didn't do on the first one, finish the last 3 on that. The next one, we're gonna do single leg tuck jumps. So this is something to also progress forward in that single leg landing and acceleration explosive power series, okay? So we're gonna start here. Instead of going forward, we're actually gonna jump up. We're gonna tuck the leg that you're jumping off of. So if I'm jumping off my left, I'm also gonna bring that up into a little knee drive and then right back down, okay? So it'll just be here, right back down, stabilized, 4 per side. Those don't need to be max vertical jumps. Again, just like the single leg hops that we just did, they just need to be high enough off the ground where you're actively pulling your knee up, using your hips, starting to strengthen that, and then have that force being braced back down to the floor. And then the last one is a glute bridge march. We're going to be on our back. In a glute bridge position. Stabilize. We're just going alternating. Little marches. You can see that I'm driving my heel back into the turf, activating that posterior chain. We're starting to get our hamstrings working, our glutes working, our trunk and core working, and really just use that exercise to start to stabilize. Again, scan that body, understand your capacity, where you might be failing, where you might need to get better, okay? So, box drops to the single leg landing, 3 per side. The single leg tuck jumps, 4 per side. And the glute bridge march, 6 per side. We have that 3 times. So, if you're ready to go, I'm going to start. If you need time, pause me, grab that box or that elevation to prepare for this. You don't need a lot of space. You just need that little piece of equipment. Okay? So let's get going. If you pause me, just press play when you're good to go. So remember, walk off on the opposite foot that you're landing on. And that's about all you need for that stabilize. Just a quick breath, understand where you are, land in that quarter squat, and feel good about your stability. Try not to let that knee cave in when you're landing, sort of like I just did. Really focus on that. If you feel it happen, just understand why it happened, and then fix it on that next rep. You'll see that I'm a little shakier on one side versus the other. It's okay, just wait, stabilize, and then go. Start to teach your body that until you're stabilized, don't move on, don't stop the rep. Okay? So, on to those single leg tuck jumps. I'm going to do some from the side, and then some going forward. 4 per side, all one leg, then all the other. You can see that I'm driving my knee up, opposite knee up just slightly. Get a little bit of momentum as we go. You'll see I'm wobbly, just take that breath, centralize yourself, brace that core, and then finish that rep. Glute bridge march, 6 per side. And I'll be alternating on this one. Keep those hips up the whole time. All right, those are the 3 exercises. We got 2 more sets. The higher the box on this, the more difficult it is. So if you've never done this before, take your time and work up to a higher height. If you're only a few inches off the ground for this for the first time, nothing wrong with that. This is really important for not only change of direction athletes, but for linear athletes as well. All right, single leg tuck, 4 per side. Remember, drive that opposite knee a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of help off the ground. Land, stabilize, get right back to it. 4 per side. You'll see sometimes I gotta do a little tap with my toe. If you need to do that, stabilize yourself, that's perfectly fine. Try to avoid putting your full foot on the ground, but if you need a little correction, do it. Just try to work that out. Every time you do that workout, just work that out a little bit. Perfect. Now, glute bridge march. You'll see I'm not rushing through this. Nice consistent pace. work within your capacity. You don't need to drive that knee all the way up to your chest. Again, just keep the right angles, feel the right motion, understand your limits. And as we continue through these workouts and these videos, those limits will start to increase. You'll start to get better. Go back to previous workouts, do them, see how you feel. It's a really good gauge. All right, last set. Here we go. You'll see I'm trying to land with proper arm mechanics. It's just something that's ingrained in me. If you need to think about it, that's great. Think about it and understand why you're doing that. Stay nice and balanced on both sides. You'll already see my right leg was pretty weak when I started. Starting to adapt, starting to learn that exercise again. Starting to feel a lot better. Practice makes perfect, always does. That will never change in any skill sport. Practice those fundamentals, everything's adapted, things will start getting better. And you'll start seeing those long-term results that we're trying to get you. So enjoy that one. Single leg tuck jumps. Nice, last one, glute bridge, and we're done our B set. Great work, guys and gals. That's a really good first couple groups of exercises. We have one more when we come back. Take your break, grab your water, pause me. Just make sure when you come back, I'm suggesting this break. We need 2 pieces of equipment if you have them. 1, a light, long resistance band, if you have it. If you don't, a light mini band will work, and something that we can anchor that to. Okay, so we're going to be pulling on it a little bit. So find something heavy, bottom of a couch, under the wheel well of a car, literally anything that is stable, that can withstand a little bit of force would be fantastic. And then the next piece of equipment, I'm going to use a med ball, but you can use books, anything, just a little bit of weight that we can put over our head as we do weighted A marches, okay? So in this break, find those pieces of equipment, pause me, grab your drink of water, come back, and let's get ready for that last group of exercises. It's gonna be good, nice little finish to the workout, and then you're on with your day. Okay, here we go, the last group of exercises. A little bit of abs, a little bit of hip strengthening exercises, a little bit of technique on that A march. It's gonna be good. You're gonna enjoy this last group. We're gonna do 3 sets. I'm gonna run through the exercises, and then we're gonna do them together. The first one is where you need that mini band or that longer resistance band. If you have the longer resistance band, that's ideal. If you don't, perfectly fine, we'll just use that mini band. I'll run through both variations for you just so you know, okay? So we're going to do a supine, which just means on your back, banded, A pull. So that's at A position, little pull. So the first one, ideally, you have the band around your laces. You can see it's connected to this bench. I'm going to move my body out far enough where there will always be tension in that band, okay? So I'm not so close that that band just releases all that energy that's stored up. Trying to continue to stress that band as much as I can, just so the exercise is a little bit more challenging at the top. So the first exercise, let's start. Straight legs, hands out to the side, make sure I'm pressing my lower back into that floor. Pelvis is a little rotated, engage those abs. I'm going to pull, little squeeze at the top. You can see that my angle is just as if I'm running. That's the key. If it's under you, it's not going to engage those hips as much. We're just trying to keep that nice angle. You can even play around with it to understand that feeling of what this does versus what a proper position does. So we're just going to do there. Little pause at the top and go back down. Trying to keep that banded foot off the ground the whole time. Please don't use a heavy band for that. Makes it hard, and there's no need. Completely unnecessary to use a heavy band for that right now. If you only have a mini band, band around both feet, and we can do that same exercise, but you can notice that I lose tension at the bottom. That's the only reason why that longer band that's anchored down is just slightly better. But if this is all you got, perfectly fine. Still achieve what we need to achieve. The next exercise, you can use anything med ball. I'm using a plate. You can use books, any sort of weight. Again, not heavy. We're not stressing the heavy side of this exercise. We just are trying to lengthen and engage our body a little bit. So all we're going to do is an A march. I'm going to go cone to cone. I would suggest if you have 20 meters-ish, you can do it for that length, which would be fantastic. But all we're going to do is create length through our body. Nice and tall positions. Shoulders stacked, abs tight. We're trying to keep our heels off the ground the whole time, contacting under our hips. So our steps should not be long here. And a little pause at the top. So we'll be here, create that length. Step right under the hips, dorsiflex at the top, hips are under you, nice straight line. Get tall, get long during this exercise, feel that pause at the top. This should not be a fast exercise. We shouldn't be doing this with little knees. Make sure those contacts and every movement in that is very deliberate. That's the whole reason we're doing that exercise. And then why not finish with a little bit of abs. 30-second front plank, and then a 10 per side front plank march. So after we finish our front plank, we go into the march, which is just lifting each foot off the ground, but we're actually initiating the movement with our glutes. We're not just lifting our heel. Initiate with our glute, just little lifts off the ground. We don't want to get into extension. Way up, we don't want to curve our spine, just little lifts off that ground, okay? So we have 4 per side on the supine A pulls. We have 20 meters ideally for the weighted A march. We have a 30-second front plank, right into a front plank march, 10 per side. I'm going to start the clock, just so I know how long I'm doing my planks for. If you got your iPhone, Samsung, whatever you use, stopwatch, timer, get it ready, and then we'll get going. All right, first exercise, supine, banded, A pulls. This could be called something different. You'll notice different training centers or different trainers, strength speed coaches will use different terms. Don't look into those terms too much. They usually tell you the exercise right in there, okay? Supine on your back, A pulls, just that running motion. 4 per side, little pause. Good. Switch legs. You'll notice I'm doing complete movement, so bringing my foot all the way down and bringing it up into that running position. I'm going to do my A marches going towards you, just so you can see the pace that I'm doing, how long it takes, the sort of movements that it requires. Okay? So I'm going to start back there, come towards you. Try and keep those heels elevated. Little pause at the top. Feel strong on that single leg. Contact under your hips. Start to understand what it takes to have strong feet and good recoil in order to either go change of direction, produce that power going forward. Even in strength and conditioning or strength exercises specifically, having that strong base so you can use that explosive power and it's not just bleeding all over the floor. All right, 30-second front plank, everybody's favorite. I'm going to start in 10 seconds. If you want to follow me, I'll get the time on you. Start in 3, 2, 1, go. Remember, at the end of 30 seconds, we're going right into 10 marches per side. Got 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and 10 marches. Awesome. So remember, if some of these sets and reps are too much, you can adapt anything you need to yourself. So if you can't do 10 marches per side right off the hop, change it to 6. It's perfectly fine. We're just giving you the standard that we like to use, but if you're not there yet, there's no shame in that. Take your own abilities, your own capabilities, do the workout, maybe just dial back the reps a little bit, and then in a couple weeks, as you continue to do these or come back to it, you'll start to understand, like, instead of doing 4 or 5 per side, now you're doing 10. And you can start checking off those little wins as you go through these exercises. 2 more sets. Really try to dorsiflex your toe the whole time during that. Little added benefit. All right, weighted A march. I'm going to try to do this on a bit of an angle so you can actually see some of my angles. So I'm going to come in on this side of your screen and go towards that pylon. All right, might not be 20 meters, but I just want to see you have a visual of what it should look like. Really try to drive through that big toe joint on your grounded foot. Awesome. Now right back to the beautiful front plank. We're going to go ahead and get that started in 12 seconds. Remember on that front plank, almost drive those elbows towards you, starting in 3, 2, 1. Rotate that pelvis in a little bit. Squeeze those abs. Squeeze your glutes. Feel nice and strong. Nice neutral spine. 3, 2, 1, right into the marches. Perfect. All right. Last set. All right, last we got our front plank. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, and then right into the marches. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good workout today, everybody. Thanks a lot for following along. Repeat that as many times as you want. It's an awesome little workout to build that foundation. Remember, follow us on Total Package SSC on Instagram. We also have a YouTube page. If you need to get in contact with us, by all means do it. Can't wait for next time. Thanks a lot for following along. See you soon.